Hello, welcome to Sharing Creativity and Company. My name is Sharon Cheng, and today I'm excited to share with you one of the methods I use for choosing colors and papers for my different projects. And I'm going to share with you how I chose exactly that for these two cards. The first thing I recommend to customers is to choose a package of designer series paper from Stampin' Up. The colors are already coordinated, you know they're going to work. So for this project, I started with Confetti Celebration. And that gets you, here's just a sampling of some of the papers that come in that package. Then on the back of each package, they have this label that shows you all the colors of cardstock that coordinate with the papers. So I then picked out the colors of cardstock that I had that coordinated, and I came up with this group of colors. And then these cardstock colors and these papers become your palette or the elements that you're going to be using for your card. But as you can see, you still need to narrow it down some more. So what I ended up doing is I took out of a neutral piece of paper, I just cut out a template of the cross, and I auditioned or tried out several different of the designs to see which one I liked best. And I ended up settling the first time on this design right here. I decided that was my favorite because it was a very small scale. In other words, the elements in that piece were very tiny. I knew that I wanted the background piece, the second piece here, to be a larger scale, which narrowed it down to these two. I think either one would have worked. In this particular case, I went with the larger one. Now, while it would have worked with the Naturals White, I really wanted a little bit more color. And that's how I came up with the pistachio pudding, because that was a light color that was present in both papers and would work and still feature the cross very nicely. And then I took the Naturals White that I was going to use as the card base, and I was auditioning. In other words, I'm not cutting it out. I'm just looking at it and going, I didn't think there was enough definition between these two. I wanted a little bit something more. So again, I looked for a common color between the two that would help this piece stand away from the card base. And I ended up picking up the basic gray. Now, one of the other tips I learned in my quilting days is I can decide the size of my border or mat by just playing with it like this and deciding what I want. If I want the border to be one of the featured objects, I'm going to make it bigger. If I want it to just frame an item, I'm going to make it thinner. And those of you that know me know that I use generally very thin mats because I just wanted it to separate these two items. So that is how I came up with the colors for this particular card. Again, I had the dark cross, so I wanted a light piece of cardstock to help feature it. Then I chose a different scale, a larger design, to complement the smaller design here, and I decided on a thin mat to just separate the design paper just a little bit from the card base. Then it became a lot easier to come up with the design elements for this second card because I knew I wanted to use the Tangelo Twist, which is a darker color. Then I knew I wanted the cross to be a lighter color. I had several different ones to choose from. Ultimately, I picked the pistachio pudding because I liked it. There's not necessarily a rhyme or reason to it. As you can see, I could have used these elements very easily with this background, but I felt like all the white made this very light, and I wanted something that was going to stand out just a little bit more. So I picked this background, which was a little bit bigger. I'm sorry, darker. And I thought it just helped this stand out a little bit more. So again, that's just one of the ways that I use to choose colors and papers for my two projects. Thank you so much for sharing creativity and company with me today. Remember to shop with me to get what you want for your next crafting project.